All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. This is October 27th, 2022. And as Carlos is showing with a slightly enhanced image clarity, I do have a hamburger on my head. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. It's obviously Thursday, so we're kind of rounding out the week. And just kind of discuss the stocks in play. We'll open up to a couple of questions near the end of the session. And from that point, just kind of round out the week, which has been a pretty decent trading week, I think, for a lot of people. For one, the S&P has been moving. It hasn't been necessarily choppy or hard to technically understand. There's been a nice bullish upthrust, against a bearish climate, a little bit of a corrective wave in the market. And from the expected move perspective, we did get to the upper bounds yesterday and the prior session. A little bit of a spike above, but as you can see, we pulled back in pretty quickly, coming back to some levels in mid-September. Mid-September to some of the late August levels, depending on if you're looking at the highs or the lows. So for now, the S&P has done from a volatility perspective what it's supposed to, which is move a certain amount, not really move much farther, and then in the case of yesterday, actually come back inside. So I think our bullish thesis here should be kind of reevaluated for the next couple of sessions as we enter into some of our earnings. Now, as we look at the SPY, we can see a little bit of structure in regards to the short-term trends. I talked about this idea of maybe a trading channel that's starting to form on this corrective wave. You can kind of take a little bit of a bearish stab at these levels, but additionally, as we saw yesterday, there was a breach of the previous session's highs, and this is fairly typical behavior when you have a channel in one direction and you're trying to counter trend trade it. It's often going to be hard to assess by price what is the risk level you should be taking. Instead, it's more about the channel being either hit on certain highs and lows and then responding by taking profit, or trying to counter it so long as the trend is in your favor on the short term, basically top fishing to some degree. So that was the assessment on yesterday's Engineering the Market. We did see another bullish rally. We obviously gave it all back, more of a rounded reversal kind of day. We didn't necessarily close at the lows, so we're kind of closing inside where we opened based on yesterday's close. And then as you can see, there's a little bit of a lean to the downside in response to some of the earnings that we got. So yeah, thank y'all. I wanted to maybe cover a couple of other things to pay attention to here. You always want to be thinking about how much room does this corrective wave have and what should I be doing amidst the momentum? Because if you are looking to short in this market, I think the opportunity is getting a little bit more attractive. Anytime the market can bounce in our favor as a bear, and kind of noticing how far the retracement has been, we're still in a position to consider this a flag. It could easily turn into a weekly bear flag that eventually will break down and lead to more downside. But for now, just be careful of assuming price levels. I think what's difficult about flag trading is that if you're trying to tag it near the highs, you have to assume that that high is going to hold, because really the follow through of a flag doesn't come at the highs, it comes at the lows. Once you actually break the short-term trend, that's facilitating the longer term flag. So as a technical trader, it's definitely attractive to maybe put on some downside play at these levels. If you're looking at just the price reversion here, this has been about an 8 to 10% move from the CPI lows. Yeah, it's about 11% at yesterday's high, about 10% from the close on yesterday. So definitely worth considering taking some profit, and certainly looking back to the downside, even if it is more of a pullback, trying to essentially time some of this trend fading and coming back inside to our key levels that we've come from. Additionally, I think it's important to look at some of the MAs that we're starting to hit. The 50 period is a pretty important mid-range trend, or I don't want to call it mid-term, but short-term, medium-term, and long-term trends are usually defined by their MAs. We are in a bullish short-term trend, daily uptrend kind of confirms it, but the medium-term trend is still bearish. And we can see the type of selling pressure we're starting to get at this particular dynamic resistance. Last but not least, I think it's worth paying attention to some of the horizontal prices here. We are getting into another balance range that the S&P established. It's a little bit of a dangerous area because for now, we could trade back and forth through it a few more times. Once the market stalled here, we put up a little bit of value assessment, and on the volume profile, you'll see some of that information. Maybe like a 30-day will show it historically. But this area tends to be responsive initially due to the fact that there are participants here who bought things like the marketplace and had to experience some of that downside that we saw in October. From a bag holding / someone who's maybe back at break even, they might be looking to maybe unwind some of that risk, or just to reduce their exposure, because they might assume that this will turn into another sell swing in the future. It's obviously still in a position of weakness, but the recovery here has been worth trading over the short term. So those are some things to pay attention to. I would argue the NASDAQ has more proving to do. Technically, we have not broken out of our pivot. And as we continue to see some pressure in some of the earnings that we're seeing this week, this is one that could easily push us back inside, along with the fact that if you're looking at the actual trend structure here, the upside is only a little bit higher. So even if we do break out, we're going to run into a lot of value, volume profile VPOC, along with just a level that is going to be very difficult to reclaim. It's going to take probably a lot more time to see the NASDAQ break through that upper value zone. Probably the stocks like Apple would have a gauge on whether or not that's going to happen. Okay, so let's look at a stock in focus. We'll go ahead and look at Meta and its earnings. Starting off with just where is Meta in regards to the S&P? And I keep bringing this up because there might still be a perception of Meta being a stronger component or a larger component of the S&P. That is no longer true. Meta not only has been reduced significantly, but now it's in the category where it's under 1%. So a lot of stocks kind of fall, right into that percentage market cap. Meta has come in to the point where it trades under stocks like Home Depot. Home Depot technically has a higher market cap than Meta. Procter & Gamble, Chevron, big energy plays, which have obviously been key stocks this year. Nvidia, which is for the most part kind of taken the place of Meta in terms of some of the mega technology companies. Even though it is down significantly, it's still the main tech stock to kind of pay attention to for semiconductors. And then, of course, the big five, which have really not changed for a long time, but Berkshire, United Healthcare, and Johnson & Johnson are just as impactful as some of the carryover from stocks like Tesla. It's just about their volatility. Tech stocks tend to move a little bit faster than these companies. So just a little bit of sneak peek into what's going to move the S&P. Meta is a big focus name, but it's not necessarily the same market cap. So you have to treat it accordingly and understand that even though it's down a lot, it's not going to bring the market down necessarily with it. Some of the sentiment from it can bring the market down. And that's what we saw with Snap and Google reporting ad revenue and seeing some sentiment play along with that drop. So as we look at Meta, apologies, just checking something real quick. As we look at Meta, it's down significantly this morning. In fact, it looks like we're trading sub 100 right now. So the thing that concerns me about this trade is not the fact that it's selling or that it can't go lower. It's the fact that it's way outside of its expected move. If you're looking at Meta on yesterday's session, it was trading at 130. So it closed out at 130 a share. That puts the expected move at about 15, I'll say anywhere from like $14 to $15, 16, somewhere in that range, but 15 is kind of your average. It's trading sub 100 right now, which means it's at 2 times the expected move. As we look at the option market, a lot of put participation was occurring at $5 intervals. Pretty much every $5 jump, you would see a lot of open interest. And that kind of makes sense, fairly normal. 115 was the boundary. That's where, in my analogy, the rubber band of the expected move was normal. Now that we're outside of it, the rubber band is being stretched. 110, large open interest. 105, a little thinner, but there's still people out here. And now 100, which is also quite high. In fact, there's kind of a $1 node here. The width of this area is significant. If the market can't recover from here, it's going to be relevant. But it's also true that 100 is 2 times the expected move for this stock. And in my analogy, the idea behind expected move is once you get a rubber band that is stretched to its maximum, 2 times expected move would be the maximum, the market maker participation, dynamic hedging, anything that has to do with protecting the participants who sold these contracts, essentially all of the put chain in this stock, for the most part, is intrinsically valued right now, and it wasn't yesterday. So the market maker today has an objective. They need to make sure that they're fully hedged in the case that this stock starts to slip any lower. And if it doesn't, there is going to be forces relative to that gamma exposure that can cause this stock to snap back very quickly. Now, obviously, we want to see a little bit of technical setup for that to be true. It's obviously in a weakened position. But remember, this is about the level you would see it at, about $100 a share. Anywhere from 99 to 100 would be ideal. And what can happen here is that if we are not going to break the rubber band, you want to be thinking like a Netflix. Whenever the stock dropped from 250 to 215, 212 in a single session, that's breaking the rubber band. That's where the system falls apart. Meta has a chance to do that today. It doesn't have to, and it's a more rare occurrence. It's a lower probability of occurrence. But if it happens, be extremely cautious assuming anything until we start to see degrees of complete capitulation, and essentially a V bottom would be the more likely scenario throughout the day. Similar to Netflix, if this stock moves anywhere towards the 3 standard deviation expected move, Meta could be trading at 85. That's what the option market states. That's its claim, is that if this stock breaks 2 times expected move, a 3x expected move could be the result. And like we just saw, this thing is moving in intervals of at least $5 a share, open interest node to open interest node. But as we get below 100, things kind of widen out. There's not a lot of areas for the market maker to really go, except for maybe 95, 90, and it really thins out as we get to 90. And then if we are going to get that extreme, remember 85. I don't necessarily think that's likely today. That would be essentially the stock losing about 30% today. They priced in 5% approximately from 130, losing $15 was about, it's actually a little bit more. It's probably like 6 or 7% volatility. So if it were to go to 85, that would be somewhere in the realm of maybe 21, 22% downside, just kind of multiplying those percentages. That's significant for a stock like Meta. But it's also true that it might be what the market maker is forced to do. The opposite scenario to me seems a bit more likely. I think we're going to stay around 100 for a little while, hopefully kind of stabilize the trend and the price. And then for the benefit of this stock not really collapsing anymore, actually see a little bit of mean reversion back to like 105, 110. That would be the more ideal and probably less volatile play today. Even though, as traders, we want to have something that's moving well. Just be aware that this is a pretty significant decline for this stock. And it's obviously doing some damage to the sentiment of the company, the perception of the future growth. It's a little bit of a mess in this particular name. So as we're kind of getting close to the end, let's go ahead and have questions start now, because otherwise I was just going to comment the dollar has changed trends. We're looking at consolidation on the weekly, more of a channel of probably a bullish flag forming over time. Volatility is down, and it's also back into contango. A little bit of our bullish drift has been volatility reduction. So those are some things that I've been watching and commenting on. Obviously, wasn't able to call them out yesterday, but they've been kind of in play the past couple of sessions, and it's led to a more bullish marketplace. Equities have been bullish. Metals have been bullish. For David, thoughts on silver? Honestly, I know the technicals help with planning, but gold and silver are highly responsive to the dollar. The thing I want to caution, though, is you'll notice that we're getting the correlation in the move. We're not getting the same correlation in the magnitude of the move. So be a little aware that this is still in a downtrend. This is gold. And for silver, still technically range bound. When the dollar drops off, I expect the range lows to kind of bounce. When the dollar pulls back to the upside, I expect it either to stall at the middle or pull back in. So these are highly responsive products to the dollar, and that's how I think you should trade them. Either by doing things that are neutral to slightly bullish at times when the dollar drops, and then counter it when the dollar rallies. Nvidia. Thoughts on Nvidia? It's at some pretty strong supports here. I mean, we covered how significant this zone is for Nvidia. The thing that we didn't know at the time is how dramatic this was going to be. So my analysis here is the same. If we had lost this low immediately, then this stock could have easily fallen very quickly. Now that we're back inside, looking at previous bounces here, I mean, the upside on Nvidia is that we start to rally up to about 145-ish, maybe even look at some of these gap levels as areas to sell bullish positions. And just remember that this is coming from 2020 and 2021. So these levels are already here. We're just trading them. You know, it's back and forth trade for a lot of these stocks. So Nvidia is bullish in the context of a bullish equities market, but it is at a level of support too. So it has a little bit more clarity. Tesla. I'm notoriously a bit bearish on this stock. I think any bounce into these regions is shortable. But as we can see, there's been a 4-week decline, a 1-week stall, and a weekly low with a lack of follow through, leading us all the way back to the highs. So, like most things, it's very likely that we're going to start a bounce here. And the question is, how high? I think for now, we're in that kind of flat flag on the weekly. We could see a little bit more follow through, just kind of push it to maybe test some of these levels from below. But at that point, I'd be looking for shorts. The weekly tells me that it's still bearish. No matter how high this thing bounces, the weekly tells me it's still bearish. There are people who want to short, and there are people who want to get out of this thing anywhere in these levels. So I'm not bearish on the company, I'm bearish on the stock. It's all about what the market perceives risk to be. Technicals ignore aspects of fundamentals and some of the quantitative approach simply because the market's telling me information. You have to ask yourself, why did Tesla sell from 315 to sub 200? Why did it have to do that? If it truly is bullish, why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why hasn't it been a more resilient company in this marketplace? There are better sectors. I mean, healthcare is a better sector. Energy is a better sector. They're just better sectors. So bounces happen. They're very strong. And obviously you want to trade them as best you can. But don't forget the context here. We're still in a bearish scenario on this sector. And it's just about how high does the bounce have to go. The highest bounces have gone to the 200. This is discretionaries. So technicals tell me what to do. They tell you how to behave as a trader. mRNA, let's see. Be cautious. It's at the 200. I mean, that's the first thing that stands out to me. It's had a nice rally, 24%. I'd be looking for a daily higher low. This is a V bounce, very important sentiment change. It tells me that they tried to sell it and they couldn't. I wouldn't buy it up here though. Even on a V bounce, I'd be looking for a daily higher low. It's going to control your risk better. So as a bull, I want to be buying lower. It doesn't look like a good spot to be a bull up here, like to initiate a position. It's at the 200. It doesn't look right. So wait, wait for a daily higher low. Good time to short now on the intraday if it sets up. Um, looks like a bullish response to earnings. How volatile is this thing supposed to be? $25. This is almost 2 times outside of expected move. Just as risky as Meta to the upside. Same dynamics. All right, let's see. I'm gonna look at YouTube real quick. How would you play Amazon using options? So Amazon's done with its earnings. No, it's not. It's coming into earnings. Sorry. Okay. So Amazon's coming into earnings. $8 expected move. We'll probably open and close maybe 115. I would kind of need to see how we close. But let's say I want to prepare for that. $8 expected move. There's a lot of participation at 105. 108 to 105 is pretty heavy. I could either stay within the series and I could try selling a condor somewhere in this region. And then also look to the top side to do the same thing. 120 is a little too close. So I'll probably look to sell like a 122, 125. So this is a $3 wide condor on both sides. I collect the $1.30 premium if I can get this price at open. That's one way. You could also look to sell something here and then buy back here because it's on the Thursday series. So the premium reduction will be very fast. So you just want to protect yourself with a future series, especially on Thursdays. That's kind of the latest series that earnings takes place on. So it's the most risky. That condor will be hard to defend if it goes outside, and we are seeing stocks breach expected move. So there can't necessarily be the assumption that we're going to see all of these stocks stay within their expected move. Microsoft and Google were pretty good in their expected move, and they actually rallied back up. So those were perfect for like condors and premium selling inside the range. But it doesn't mean that, you know, had they been a little bit lower, they could have really put pressure on like a condor wing. So it would have been hard to repair. So how do you overlay a weekly expected move in Thinkorswim? What do you mean by overlay? Like on the chart? There are studies that can do that. Thinkorswim doesn't have any built in, but there's quite a few ThinkScript studies that can be loaded in a Thinkorswim that'll overlay, you know, your weekly and your monthly expected moves. You'll have to determine which study is going to show you which bits of information. So I'd recommend looking up online studies that do it and then loading one in. Yeah. So I think that's about all the time I have. I'll look at Apple really quickly. Apple looks shortable up here. I mean, I know these rallies get us into a bullish sentiment for a period of time, but don't ignore the longer time frames here. Like, especially if you're a short-term trader, you want to take advantage of even this type of move, this engulfing structure at the 50 as best you can. And it's coming into its earnings, so like anything can happen today, but the rules of earnings are the same. I would give you the same suggestion about Apple's earning as I would Amazon, because numbers are numbers. I don't care about the company. I care about the option market. So just remember, if I explain option dynamics on one company, it applies to the other. There's just different numbers. Treat it like a numbers game. But yeah, Apple definitely looks bearish. If it were trading normal, it's coming into earnings. It has about a $7 expected move. So. All right, y'all. Well, that's all the time I have. So thank you. Stay safe out there. Remember some of the suggestions from Meta. Like and subscribe if you like what we covered today. Hopefully you like my hat. And we'll talk more next week. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. And stay tuned for Pre-Market Prep with Carlos and Norm.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Pre-Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I hope you are doing much better than Meta this morning, which I think we both are.
It's
uh,
hard. I mean, without being dead, it's hard not to be doing better than Meta.
agreed. Agreed
Probably good for
100%.
society, bad for this ticker.
Yes, yes, yes. So, as we can see, guys, our gappers list this morning, I mean, pretty split down the middle as far as number of tickers on the red and green side of things here. So a couple of names that we've seen plenty of times, and some of the Chinese stocks you can see here taking a little bit of a dive this morning. They've been rallying for the last 2 days, though, or so. So you've been seeing a little pullback coming into today's market, pre-market. So we'll dive into that. Let's take a quick look. We're not going to look at all the stocks we had in play yesterday because there was just so many. But obviously, we had Microsoft, which had earnings, and we also had Google. Those were the big ones yesterday. If you look at the action on the 5 minute, you could see how well they traded. It took a bit to get going here on Microsoft. Look at this beautiful takeoff. Did very well. 238 the highs. And then before the day was over, right back to where it opened up at least, right? So right in this area here. So you got a lot of opportunities there. A couple of nice breakouts of key levels that we marked in the pre-market, like this one here, 233, and some highs and lows of the last two trading days there. Amazon, same thing, took a bit to get going, eventually did, and then slams back down. And Nvidia did the same thing. AMD did the same thing. But take a look at this bad boy here, BA. I mean, what a crushing day for these guys. They started off okay, and just some sideways action, and then it just plummeted, guys. I mean, this thing took off not in the right direction, and you can see going from 47 in this area here when it was hanging at the VWAP all the way down to 131. I mean, it doesn't even test a 20 in this entire stretch. So again, I think that'll be in play today. That was a big, big drop. Worth seeing what else goes on there. So that was our stocks for yesterday, Norm. What is the latest and greatest happening today?
Yep. So we just had third quarter GDP come in, came in at 2.6% versus the expected 2.3, so a little bit stronger than expected. I missed the jobless claims. Sorry about that. So some other data. Market spiking on that this morning. We are deep into earnings season. Apple reports this afternoon. Meta is the elephant in the room. Reported last night, getting absolutely destroyed. Yeah, so let's dig into it.
Yeah, need deep into earnings here as we can see things to start to develop. So, all right, guys, let's build this list. We're not going to have a hard time building this list today because even stuff that's not on our gappers list that was active yesterday, we might want to keep an eye on. So,
I'm
garbage
going to
like
warn
this
you.
one.
I am not
Yeah,
prepared this morning. I start preparing quite early,
yeah.
and I didn't realize it. My scanner was throwing me incorrect information, and I just
Oh,
realized it about 5 minutes ago. So
is mine looking good here? Are we okay?
yeah, I think
Uh,
yours seems to be correct. Mine is
okay.
not.
Gotcha. Oh man, sorry to hear that. You're probably looking up stuff that's not even
Yeah.
in play. Um,
I think it froze a couple hours ago or something because it had
mhm.
Meta at 104. And I realized I'm like, Meta's under 100 right now. Why does
Yeah.
the scanner say 104?
Oh,
And then so anyway, I'm a little bit behind. I'm trying to catch up, but
yeah, no worries, man. Here it is, guys. The first one on the list is pure garbage. So we're not able to spend time on something like this today when we got so many to go through. That looks like some kind of buyout. TDoc here. TDoc we've seen before. Teladoc, they're not a great intraday trading stock. So today we'll find something better to trade. Unless
you're
no, if you,
correct. They did have earnings last night.
yeah. Yeah. So you see the pop here last night, but again, today we'll find better things. I guarantee you. CMCSA, we also see in the past, not a great trader neither. I mean, they had their days. There was a time, there was a stretch. I can't remember if it
Yep.
was a year ago or two. Remember, Norm, this was on our list more often. And
Yep.
it did a couple of great things, but since then has not done much.
They had
And if
earnings
to,
this morning.
yeah, if today's gonna be their day, they picked a bad day because we got a lot of other great stuff to watch this morning, like Nvidia. Nvidia guys are breaking out here, up 5%. So I really like this daily, and Nvidia can trade so well. Not huge volume as we've seen in different in other pre-market activity, but nevertheless, I really like the way Nvidia trades. That's gonna be on my list here for this morning. I know any news other than
Yes.
the all tech stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of Meta's problem, and we'll dig into that when we get to the gap downside, is their capital expenditures. How much they're investing in AI. They're having to purchase bigger, better computers, servers, all that stuff. And Nvidia is beneficiary of tens of billions of dollars of that. So
Very nice, very nice. So that's playing nicely there. Great daily, and really like this one today. Next, Shell. This one not looking great. Royal Dutch. Oh,
no,
this
no,
is
no,
the
no,
oil.
no.
Yeah, this is no.
No,
Thanks, Norm.
take a
No,
different
we'll,
route.
we'll fly right through that. Let's Shopify got some good action this morning. I'm not a fan, but today they're looking interesting, guys. 2.4 million, up 4.1 this morning.
If there's a day to be a fan, it's the day they had earnings.
Yeah. So looking good, guys. I'm gonna put as a possible just because that's just a personal preference on my end. But this thing is in play today. CCJ, no, horrible. Nothing happening here, guys. Let's look at Love. This is Southwest, and I don't think these guys are really in play. I'm not seeing anything that
Their
looks
earnings this morning.
okay. Let's see.
They might not trade well. I would secondary this. They might not
Yeah.
trade well till the market opens. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens there. We got VP on deck. They're up nice 3% this morning. I guess oil is up slightly today. We've seen two so far. Or the VP have earnings?
No earnings
doesn't-
today. Oil's
okay.
up, not huge, but they're up a little bit.
Slightly. Okay. If you like this one, guys, you can put it on deck. Another one to look at that I prefer is Oxy. They're not going to do a whole lot in the pre-market, but they've been cranking here the last couple of days, right? Slow and steady. Not great intraday trading in some of these days here, but slow and steady there. They're making their way up there. BBBY, we saw this yesterday or 2 days ago. This morning up 3.8. Pre-market activity is a little rough right now. So maybe this picks up and gets going. I like what I'm seeing here as far as the daily. You're getting some kind of volume and movement towards the upside, right? So a couple of green days in here. That is interesting, but this pre-market action has to get better. I'm going to skip on it for now. If you guys see something good on that, throw it back out to us. Look at the short interest on this thing, 105. That is massive. I mean, anything above 50 is crazy, but this is massive. BA, I like BA today. Even as a secondary, right now it's not doing a whole lot. But yesterday, with that such a huge drop, I think we might get some type of movement this morning. So I want to keep an eye on that one. Our buddy here, AMD, worth adding as a possible for now. I don't see much going on at the moment, but worth adding as a possible as Nvidia and some other ones are moving higher. But Nvidia is definitely one we're going to keep a close eye on. MRK up 2.1. It doesn't look great. Doesn't trade very well. Very light on volume. So I usually keep this one off my list. Let's see what's gapping down. We got Wolf here down 26%. So they're taking a big hit this morning. This ticker daily's nasty. It is not clean. And what is this? Earnings? Yeah, it must have
They
been
had earnings
earnings.
last night.
Yeah. I mean, I love the drop, guys. 27% almost here. I mean, we're getting crushed. That we got some okay volume compared to how this trades. I mean, let's see. Let's see. Today could be a day where these guys do something. For the most part, they don't do a whole lot. Of course, how can we not forget the elephant in the room? Meta on deck this morning. We will add that to our list, as Norm mentioned. Just getting killed here on earnings. um, let's look at Billy. Billy today. So what do we have here? A couple of Chinese stocks I saw here. We saw
It's
Billy
amazing. I'll
JD.
point out we're
Yeah.
now trading at levels on Meta that have not been seen since early 2016, late 2015.
That is something else, man. That is something else. Who would have thought, right? I mean, this thing is just as Andrew would say, no mercy. No mercy, no love for Meta. Just continues to get
It's
destroyed.
going to be
here.
interesting. Jared did in-depth analysis, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to, other than on the fundamental basis, they're spending a fortune to try to catch up with TikTok, and then of course Zuckerberg with his
Metaverse and
fantasy,
yeah.
throwing all kinds of money in there. So
Yeah. It's again, that might be the future, but the future might not be. The present might not be ready for that.
I
That's
think
not
most
helping
people
them.
think they don't want it to be the future. I think that's a
Yeah.
big problem.
That is a huge problem. But again, the president is not ready for that, and these guys need to come up with something now. Yeah. So Meta guys, a thumbs up for Jared. It really going a deep dive on this thing this morning. It was really interesting. If you missed it, you can go back on YouTube. But hit that thumbs up over on YouTube if you haven't done so already. We try to hit our 250 goal today, sitting at a all-time low of 77 at the moment. But I know you guys are going to help us with that. Let's take a look here. So we're on some Chinese tickers. We got BABA, we got JD, we got PDD, we have another one, XBEV, Rio. I don't see Billy. Tons of them on here this morning. I think it's all the same news, Norma, unless you tell me there's something different with this.
China
It's
problems.
just China, right? Yeah, just China problems. BABA yesterday was insane. I mean, this thing took off. We had that on our list. It was really, really wild. Out of these, I like BABA and Neo for the most part. Let's see what Neo is up to. Although Neo, I didn't watch Neo yesterday. What did it do actually? Oh, thank God I didn't. This is garbage. This was brutal. So nothing to see there. I'm gonna put Neo as a secondary, and I'm gonna add BABA as a secondary as well, just to keep an eye on them because again, they have been trading very well. Yesterday was not the day for Neo though. But you got some other ones here you can look at, guys. JD, you have Billy. I think they're all doing the same thing, up about between 2 and 4% looks like, but not really nothing explosive right now. We'll have to wait for the market open. That's it. I don't think I missed anything here. What is TECK? What is TECK? No. No. No way.
Ugh.
Yes, that is just brutal. Rio is you tell me this all the time. Is Brazilian? Yeah.
No.
What is
No,
this? What is this?
Rio is UK based, but
Yeah,
they
you
have
go.
operations all over the world. A lot of it's in Australia.
Yeah.
It's
Doesn't
mining,
doesn't
metals,
trade
and
well.
diamonds, and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep. So no good. And MO this morning. No, I don't like this at all. You know what? This list, although we have a lot on here, it's not a lot that looks great. Let's look at MU and pins. MU is down 2.4, very light on volume. Again, not what it used to be. Pins, let's see here. Pins not doing a whole lot neither. No volume, down 2.4. Yeah, this is all I really like from this list, Norm. Anything you have on your end?
No, the glitch in the matrix with my stuff this morning has kind of messed me up. So
Yeah.
the only thing I'll say is Meta, guys, it's going to look interesting. It's going to be exciting. Be very, very, very careful on it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. All right, let's start here with Jason W. You're giving us Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, it's always a fun one to watch. Oh, this pre-market looks really good. This is really nice pre-market activity on Tesla. So we'll add that on there. 1 million shares traded, up 2%. Love the daily as well, guys, as we hit this 230, slightly right below that, trying to get to 230, which has been an area of resistance. But we did get above this this would have been what? Hold on. This would have been, there we go, around 224, that previous day close. We did get above that. That obviously an area where we have struggled quite a bit. Tesla, really good. That we'll keep that one on that. XBEV, Michael, I did look at it earlier as we were going. It is on our gappers list. I do have to say, they do have some volume, 731,000. Not sure. I'm not sure on this one. I'd rather watch Tesla, even a NEO, which has 1.4 million, which is trying to get to green. Horrible pre-market candles, right? But it's got the volume trying to get into the green territory. I'd rather look at a NEO today if one of those is going to be in play. But we'll see. XBEV, 700,000 for XBEV is actually quite a lot of volume as well. So let's not dismiss that. User or Uber? Is user a ticker, Michael? What is that? I'm going to try to pull it up. It is a ticker. User testing.
Dear God.
Man, why were you user? It's a weird thing. All right, so here we have this up 90%. Guys, this is just, if you want to gamble, this is gambling at its best right here.
This is a buyout.
Oh, it is? Okay. All right. That at least makes some kind of sense, because this 90%
all cash
gap
buyout,
up,
750.
Yeah. All right. So
Nothing
careful
to
with
see.
that. Yeah. Okay. Careful with that. I don't see. MU, I see it on the gappers list. I don't see anything explosive on it right now. Hamish, you're looking at ADM. ADM. I know the way you trace. I know why you were looking at this one. Not really what I would look at, but I know exactly what you're looking for with your style of trading, what specifics you're looking for there. Let's head down over to Google and Amazon. Google, let's see. Yeah, I mean, big down there on all these tech companies. How about Microsoft? We'll look
Google
at that
was
next.
even trading off earnings yesterday and traded like garbage.
Microsoft was much better. You know, it's
That's saying something too. 'cause
yeah. I
Microsoft
mean, that just tells you how bad Google is, man. It is just not fun. I would like to watch Microsoft today, just to see how that does. I'm not going to watch Google. Even Amazon could probably trade better, but I really like Microsoft for some kind of follow play here if we are going to react to yesterday's action, right? What is the SPY doing right now? Are we still flat? Yeah, pretty much just wrapping ourselves around the previous day close here. As
got
we
a
move
pop on
forward.
that GDP number and then just came right back and just sitting there.
Yeah. All right. So Apple, as you guys know, I mean, this can still be in play just with the overall market, but we've seen how these tickers act when they have earnings coming out. A lot of sideways action with some good volume. I'm going to put it as a secondary. I just believe is tomorrow is where we're going to be having fun with this, right? So Apple tomorrow for sure. Looking forward to see what those numbers and earnings are going to look like tonight. Nvidia is good. We have on deck. Meta is, of course, we're good there. Yeah, I think this is what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 really good ones at the moment. And I think that's all we need for right now. As we move forward, we'll see what else develops here. NRBO. Starting to come up here, up 31%. Low flow of 516,000. Not even 1 million as far as the flow, if that's correct. So careful, guys.
What's in other data feeds I have?
It does? Oh,
Yeah.
careful with that thing, man. This is it is in play. You're seeing some activity right now, but
Be very careful on that.
very, very careful. This is our low flow, low flow of the day. So I see.
wouldn't even put it on my list like that.
You know what? I don't want to encourage anybody to trade this thing. You're
Yeah,
right. I don't. Let
exactly.
me take this off. I don't want nobody to come in chat and say, "Oh, let me look at NRBO," and not know that you shouldn't be touching this this garbage. Yeah, let's take that off. Oxy. Let's take a look at Oxy. Oh, we did look at Oxy already. Day looks good. Actually, starting to climb a little bit here. We got a lot of possibles. That's a good one. BBBY, we looked at it, guys. I mean, it's not doing a whole lot right now, and volume is very light. So we got to wait for the market open, see how this is going to react. It's up 4%. I get it. Couple of days here with some decent moves. I don't like stocks under $5, and this is sitting under here now. They just trade a little bit different. I prefer 10 and above, even 20 is better. But let's see. I just think we need a little more time on this one to kind of get an idea of what the day is going to look like for BY. All right, let's move this up here. We're good there. Anything else over on YouTube that you guys like? Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Amazon MO gap down on earnings. I think we looked at MO. We'll look at that for last, and then we'll head over to our announcements. So MO, yeah, it doesn't look good, man. It's 177,000. Really light on volume for the most part. If you look at their daily, they just don't trade well. So
stay away from the cigarettes, kids.
Yeah. So no good. All right, guys, let's get over to our bearable traders so we can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks.
All right. Anytime you want to check this out, you can go to bearabletraders.com/webinars or click the webinars link in the nav bar at the top of the screen. Onboarding and technology every Monday night with Carlos. Then on Tuesday, we focus on strategy. Excuse me. Still need to change that for next week. We will have a webinar, but with the Florida trip and travel and everything else, we've got to tweak it a little bit. So that'll be changed. And then the following week will be Thor with his VPA, the how. Wednesday for psychology next week, Dr. Kenneth Reed at 5 p.m. Note the special time. We need to move it up earlier so we can get it recorded since we'll be in Florida. And then Creda also at 5, the time she normally does it. The following week, how to identify negative thinking. All right. Mentorship today, 11 a.m. with John and 8 p.m. with Thor. Thor is not going to be in the room. He's not feeling well, but he does say he's going to be able to do his mentorship tonight. So, all right. TradingTerminal.com, your one-stop shop for all the trading information you need, from scanners to calendar, heat map, and don't forget about the simulator, which you can get through the terminal or directly at stocktradingsimulator.com, the free web-based replay simulator where you can hone your trading skills 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you'd like to try it out, you can do so with a no obligation 1-week trial. It's 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Use the promo code PreMarket24. It'll get you a discount on the intro membership. It does not recur. It is a one-time payment. And if you'd like to become an elite member, you can use the promo code READ50 to get half off the elite annual and a free one-on-one coaching session with Dr. Kenneth Reed.
All right, very good. All right, let's get to it, guys. Norm, question for you here from our YouTube friends. During your pre-market trading, how do you manage risk since the stops don't work? I don't think that's 100% accurate, right?
Well, you can't input a stop, but I stop out manually 99% of the time anyway.
Yeah.
Have a level, hit my hotkey, I get out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, pre-market tends to be a little bit riskier. You can get more slippage. There's not as much liquidity, so it might move more quickly through a price. And you might get stopped out a little bit. Like if you're on a long, you might get stopped out lower than you anticipated. You got to adjust share size for that risk and trade accordingly. So. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think you still can put in a actual physical stop.
No, you cannot.
You can't put a stop order and with a
stop
market.
Orders do not work in pre-market or post-market. Only during
okay. Did not know that. I mean, I don't trade pre-market. If I do the same thing you do. I'm just getting out manually. All right, excellent. All right, guys, that is what we have. Let's take a look here at our watch list this morning. We have Nvidia. I only have 4, which I really like: Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, and Microsoft. And they're looking pretty good this morning. Secondary list is huge: Apple, Shop, Love, BA, AMD, I mean, we got everything here, guys. You name it, it's on this list, and we can, as we get closer to 9:30, we can pick some of these off and move them up. But right now, I'm just gonna focus on what looks really, really good at the moment, which is these four. And I think with these four, you can really have an amazing day today. So we'll keep it nice and tight this morning. Nvidia here, guys, above the pre-market highs, pre-market high, excuse me, is going to be 135.67. Yeah, 135.67 was slamming level there. We've tested a couple of times already. Let's see if we can break through out of that. And then towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows for the last two trading days doing an amazing job. So above the price action right now, we do have a level, a daily at 140.21. So that's going to be good there. And then you can see how well that has been tested there. And then all the way up here, you're looking at 145.57. That's another one as well. So looking pretty good there on Nvidia. I don't think you need to add anything else. If you want to have something between this 134 and previous day close, like right in this area, right, there's nothing there. If we look at the daily, you do have actually a pretty decent area, 131.37. You got tons of action happening right around there. That could be an area where you could mark that down as well. And taking a look at Meta, as we mentioned, this thing is just insane. So 98.66 has been able to hold here since 8:15, 8:05 this morning. So that's holding there as support right now. Again, a lot of sideways action in the last couple of minutes here. That is your low of your pre-market. And then Norm mentioned this. It was like we haven't been here like in 220.06 or something. I'm gonna go to a monthly. That's the only way we can get there. 2016, there it is, 2016. Right in here, we have some levels, 89. Jai was talking, again, Jai went a deep dive on this. He was talking about 85 being an area where, there's some major stuff happening there. So I'm going to mark that down, 85. Based on Jared's analysis, and also 78.41. Again, the likelihood this is not going to happen, as he mentioned, right? You got to be down about 30%, which, again, I just don't know how this stock will do that.
85, you would be down well below that. We're already down 23%.
Oh, yeah. So it's way more.
It would be no.
The
chance of that happening today is the same as if I go buy a lottery ticket. and it hits, and it's not even a day they draw.
yes. So again, we have some levels down there, guys. This thing is 52-week low, so keep that in mind. There,
eat an Impossible Burger if that happens.
That would never happen. This is no chance of that happening. Like 0. So so there it is, guys. Meta, obviously the elephant in the room this morning. It's just insane. So definitely in play today. Towards the top, guys, I have the high of the pre-market. So far in the pre-market, since we have such a big gap from the high of the pre-market all the way to the low of the pre-market, in between there, you do have a couple of areas you have tested. I think 105 is going to be decent. After hours last night, you flirted with that quite a bit as well. You do have another level down here over at 102. So I'm going to slam one there just to have something in between here, because you are going to be playing around this area. Hopefully, if you do get some kind of bounce here. Here is Tesla continues to just rip here, guys. Heading up towards that 230, which is the highs from yesterday. Area of resistance in a couple of days here. So that is looking good. I'm not going to mark the pre-market high right now. I hope it can get to 230. Let's see. But above that, if we were to get going, big level here at 240, minor area at 234.89, and then towards the bottom, I mean, clearly you do not need to add anything as you see it here. You got your highs and lows, previous day close, got you all covered there. Here's Microsoft now. Microsoft, let's remove some of the levels from yesterday. Your low of your pre-market, pretty much the low from yesterday, right on there. You can see prior to the penny, looks like that is the low at the moment. Towards the bottom here, we do have 224. That will be a stretch getting there, and 219. We'll need the market to like head in that direction for, I think, Microsoft to have such a down day. I don't think that's in the books right now. At least towards the top, high of the pre-market is going to be up in the 232.72. So we'll slam a level there. And then right now we're breaking out of this 232 and the previous day close at the moment. Let's see if this is going to hold. So I like Microsoft today. I think this could be some good opportunities there as well. All right, that's what I have, guys. I mean, I think this is all we really need this morning. Nvidia, there it goes, breaking out of 135, creating a new market high. Meta, just sideways action at the moment. Tesla, ooh, there he goes, getting to that 230. What's happening? What's happening? Spies pushing up. Okay, Spies hasn't done a whole lot, but
I think part of that is the Twitter deal being over. There's
okay,
maybe some other stuff in there too, but the fact that the Twitter deal is now closed,
yeah.
I think
Uh,
that I think it's
that
part
could
of
make
that,
sense. That makes sense. So again,
and a big
Tesla.
part of their problems the last few months.
Agree, distractions and everything else that they were concerned with. But yeah, this thing is pushing nicely, guys. 1.3 million, up 2.3 at the moment. Real nice. Trying to get to that 230, right? 230.81 is the highs from yesterday. Let's see if we can push up to that. All right. Let's quickly look at our secondary list one more time, see if there's anything we can pull off. If you guys have something that's not on our list, let me know. Apple earnings tonight, guys. So this will be in play tonight. I don't think today we're going to get anything great. Shopify, definitely a top possible in here. If you do like this price action, if we have traded this before, just be very careful with that one.
So I did want to mention, we haven't brought it up. It was announced yesterday morning
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to get your USB-C cable in an iPhone next year. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. You serious, bro?
Yeah, happy birthday, brother.
Nah, you're messing with me. Come on now.
No, I'm serious.
Serious?
The EU had been talking about it. We've mentioned it over the past couple of years. They passed rule that every phone has to have a common charging device, and Apple said they're going to be forced to do so. So there you go.
Wow, there we
Yeah, I think
go,
it has
man.
to be done by 2024. So my guess is the next version that comes out next fall will it's good stuff.
Finally, man. Finally. It's just stupidity. I'm sure it's a huge revenue for them to have all these dongles and all this freaking stuff.
Don't talk about my dongle.
So that is great news, man. Great news. All right. I didn't think it was gonna happen in my lifetime, but it has happened. Excellent. All right, guys, getting here. LUV this morning. Again, they had earnings, but really looking really quiet right now. It's just not much going on there. BA today we are up 2.4. Again, I like this one. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move BA up, guys. I think this can be on our main list. I think this one has some potential to do some stuff today. Right now, up 2.4. Volume is okay at 304. That's not bad for BA. Let's remove some levels, clean this up a little bit. Highs and lows are doing some stuff there for us, which is good. Price action right now, slightly below the high of the pre-market at 137.39, but you can see that 137 area. You're seeing a lot of support there as well. So I like BA today. Again, just a massive drop. Highs of 150, lows of 132 yesterday, and just kind of hanging out here. This can go either way this morning. So love to see what happens there. All right, let's head to our list again. AMD popping off here as well with Nvidia. Nvidia is my favorite today out of all these semis. Wolf, we know they had earnings, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes, earnings last night. Down 27%. This can be something. I'm not sure how well they're going to trade their daily overall. Very light on volume. Neo's no good at the moment. Let's see, they can get going. Baba, Baba's no good neither. And you know what? As much as I love Neo, they're no good right now. Let's get rid of them. XBEV actually looks a little bit better. We'll keep them there. And Oxy could have some potential as they continue to have a nice stretch here from 62 to 73 in the last 2 weeks or so. All right. We are all good to go. What happened to the gap up list? Everything fell apart? What happened here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, acting a little funky this morning. But with all the headsets be standard, I have 3 kids and 3 different types. We'll see, man. We will see. Okay, I think we're all set, guys. Anything else you guys like this morning that we haven't covered? Twitter. Jose, we have not looked at Twitter. Twitter this morning. With this deal set, I mean, look at this. This is just, I don't think this is going to be in play today. This daily, look how nasty this daily has been too. It's just been brutal. So, yeah, I don't think this is gonna trade well. Yeah, Twitter is dead. Yeah, yeah, it's just nothing happening there. Neil was good yesterday, but what's his thing? Yeah, I agree. Neil was great on Tuesday. Really, really good. And Neo has been actually great, Andy, the entire month. I mean, it has been really, really nice. You've seen some really good sell-off. Like if you look at the daily here, I've been trading Neo a lot this month. I mean, even last month, a whole lot. If you look at this daily, you've been getting some nice, nice intraday action here, especially as I've mentioned before towards the downside, right? The down days, the sell-off has been very clean. Right now, it's just kind of in this choppy area where it's just kind of you're popping up but not moving great. So yeah, but Neo has been really good. Baba yesterday was exceptionally well. That's for sure. Ford, let's take a look at Ford. No, I'm not seeing anything great on this thing. I mean, it's just one of these tickers that just doesn't move. Yeah, so I don't like Ford. MRK new all-time highs broke 100. This is Merck. Oh, this company is here in Jersey, their headquarters. These guys are huge, man. I know who these guys are. His all-time highs 100. Okay. Yeah, man, they don't trade well. So I kind of stay away from them. Even with this pop here, their volume on the daily is not great. What's driving them today? Is it news? Is it earnings or something? But there's just not a great intraday trading stock, guys. So I usually stay away from it. Netflix. What is Netflix up to? Netflix. No, nothing happening. Did get a nice breakout yesterday, but again, we got so many things that did this. I wouldn't give them too much credit on their own. But yeah, we'll have to see. I gotta say though, they have managed to stay above this 270, so that's good, right? This thing stuck. And look at the breakout we had a few days ago. That was nice. And then since then they've been cranking to 305 so far. Did they close this gap already? Did they close that big gap? No, not yet. They're halfway through it. Um, that's how bad this gap was. Even after gapping up, running nicely, right? This is a big move, guys. 250 to 305. You still haven't closed this gap down here. It's just massive, massive. Yeah, Netflix, Netflix usually pre-market, they don't give you great great volume. And you can see thanks, Jared. So MRK is earnings. If you look at Netflix even yesterday, right? Not a whole lot of volume and it ran up pretty good. And we saw that too, even on days. We saw that. You guys remember this? If you're watching regularly, you guys remember this pre-market action? That pre-market action there looks horrible. And look at the day that it had, right? We knew though, based on it gapping up, it not falling apart here, that it had an opportunity to do two things: either lose this level and sell off nicely back to here, or go and retest at least the high of this area there. And look what it did down that day. And if you go back and look at that pre-market activity, you won't believe it. It looks horrible, right? So, sorry, can someone share the chart template Carlos uses? This template here, this one. This is the default that's on our website. If you're asking for this template, so the default that we have on BBT is this is the same one. I haven't really changed anything. Yep, it's on the site. ENPH could take off second day play. How did it do yesterday? I had it on the list, but on a secondary list. ENPH, not bad. It did push up higher here. Typically not a great trader, but it did push up with the market and then kind of sold off towards the afternoon parts of the day. Right now, volume is really light. I mean, lighter than even yesterday. Not that yesterday was a whole lot, anyways, but yeah, it could be secondary. I mean, I really like the stuff I have here on my list already, so I don't see a space for ENPH with my list currently. But if you have room and you like that one, that could be a good one to have on deck there. All right, there it is. So Nvidia testing some daily here at 136.50. Let's throw a level there. That's also going to be your high of your pre-market. Let's see if we can get to 138. It might be pushing up to that 140, man. It's really strong Nvidia today. All right, moderators coming in with their list. I have Peter. I have Mike. We'll wait for a few more, and then we will get rocking and rolling. So Danny, let's look at mRNA today. mRNA. Oh no. I don't like this one. It's the volume is just not there. Again, they moved yesterday with the overall market looks like there, but for the most part, the volume for pre-market right now is not great. And I gotta say, this is another ticker that the volume in the pre-market won't look awesome, right? Because you can see it here, didn't look great, still ran up there. This looks very light on volume though, so does not look like a great day compared to what it did yesterday. And same thing though, no volume. But for the most part, I think today with what I have, I think I'm set on this list. But look at the daily too. The daily on mRNA has been really nice. This thing has ran up pretty nice the last couple of days. There's Jimmy has his list ready to rock and roll, and everything you have on there besides Baba and Neo, I think we have on deck. And Baba and Neo are going to be two that probably I don't have on my list today, and watch them do something exciting. We will see. I'll be on the lookout for scanners on these two. Oh, Neo might go green here. And we'll add, you know what? I'll add Neo to the list. I'll add Neo. We'll be nice to Neo. As far as levels, highs and lows are surrounding the price action right now. I don't think you need to add anything on Neo. I think you're pretty much set there. So let's see if we can get into the green territory this morning. 1.6 million shares traded, climbing from the lows of 10 at 22 over to 1070. Let's see how I can hold there. All right, let's bring our moderators list over. I got Jerry as well. Let's bring this list over. Let's go ahead and disable the video and see what our moderators have this morning. As I'm doing this, guys, over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We'd love to get over to that 200 likes. That would be incredible as we hit that goal. So thank you for that. Let's bring this over and see what our moderating team has this morning. So right over here, guys, we have, let's not block our list. There we go. Right over here, no IPOs, no SPACs for today. Peter will be looking at AMD, Meta, BA, secondary list, Ford, Oxy, and McDonald's. McDonald's reports today. Is it today? October 27. Yes. Oh, they reported already. Oh, okay, they reported already. So what's going on with them? Pretty quiet. Again, they're not a big trader. But if there's going to be a day to watch, it'll be today. But for the most part, it's just it doesn't move a whole lot. All right, so we have Mike looking at Meta, BA, and Tesla. Jared looking at Nvidia, BA, and AMD. Secondary list, Meta, TDOC, and Shopify, which is very active this morning. Megan is looking at what's she's looking at? Maybe Nvidia. So you're not trading today? Just kind of hanging out. Are you still on vacation, Megan? I think she is. Brian looking at Tesla, Wolf, Meta, BA, and Lee this morning. Brian will be taking you through the market open as we get ready to get the day going. So, guys, that is all we have. Thank you so much for joining us over on YouTube. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I want to say one other thing, guys. You guys are talking about Meta shorting. Jared dug into this deep. Be very careful on this, guys. This is gonna be dangerous today, so be careful.
Yes, be very, very careful. 12 million shares traded right now, down 23.5. It's gonna be just wild. Just let it play out, let it settle in. Those first couple of minutes I think are gonna be just wild on Meta, but definitely in play. Looking forward to it. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so no engineering the markets, unfortunately. We will start with you guys at 8:30 a.m. Norm and I with the pre-market prep, taking you through the watch list, and let's see how this market is going to end. We got some good earnings happening tonight that we'll be talking about tomorrow. We have Apple. I'm looking forward to that one, and we'll see you guys then. Have a great trading day.
Yeah, take care, guys. Trade safe.